Good morning. How is everybody today? We are going to continue reading Judy Moody, The Doctor is In by Megan McDonald with Miss Amy today. This is book number 5, and we are on chapter 2. MD equals Medullas and Mandibles. I wonder what this is going to be. Last chapter, Judy didn't want to go to school, and she was trying to pretend like she had the mumps, and she was Mumpty Dumpty. So let's see what happens later that day, okay? When Judy walked into class 3T, 7 minutes late, on an unmumpsy day of Monday, class 3T was dry as a bone, or bones. There were bones everywhere. Mr. Todd had made a new bulletin board. Our amazing body, from head to toe. It had a tall poster of bones with long scientific names. On the front board, he taped a chart that showed rodent bones. It looked like the insides of Peanut, the dwarf guinea pig in class 3T, and sitting behind Mr. Todd's desk and Mr. Todd's chair using Mr. Todd's pencil was a glow-in-the-dark skeleton. Class 3T had turned into a bone museum. Bones were not drippy. Bones were not noisy. Bones were not boring. Bones were dry and quiet and very, very interesting. Things were sure looking up for a non-mumps Monday. Judy handed Mr. Todd her late slip. "Sorry I'm late," she said. "I almost had the mumps." "Well, I'm glad you're healthy and you're here now. We're starting a new unit on the human body from head to toe. We're going to get a jump rope," said Jessica Finch, "and measure our heart rates. And play Twister," said Rocky, "to learn about muscles." Muscles, yeah. Muscles are strong and what makes you work. "And sing a song about bones," said Allison S. "I can't believe you started the human body without me," said Judy. "A person can miss a lot in 7 minutes." "Don't worry. I think you'll catch up," said Mr. Todd. Mr. Todd taught them a funny song that went, "Da foot bone's connected to the ankle bone." He read them a book called Frozen Man, an incredible real-life story of a 5,000-year-old mummy. Ooh, a 5,000-year-old mummy. Okay, so here's a picture of the class. There's the glow-in-the-dark skeleton, and we've got the bulletin board with all of the bones. It says amazing body from head to toe system and all of the words that go along with it. And class 3T got to turn out the lights and use the glow-in-the-dark skeleton named Bonita. Ooh, Bonita means pretty. A Bonita to count how many bones were in the human body. 206. We'll be learning a lot of new words in this unit. The scientific name for bones and body parts come from Latin. So they may sound a little funny, like maxilla is your jaw, asked Judy, looking at the bulletin board. And so is mandible, said Jessica. Jessica Finch had already learned to spell microbes, a fancy word for germs, as in cooties, and medullum, a fancy word for brain stuff, or medulla. "Can you spell headache?" Judy asked. Frank Pearl cracked up at that one. Then Mr. Todd passed out owl pellets. They got to poke them with a pencil to find bones. Rodent bones. Judy and Frank stared at their fuzzy gray lump. Double bluck. "Just think, this is owl spit up," said Frank. "It's very interesting," said Judy. "Real bones are in here. Skulls and stuff." You poke it, said Frank. So Judy poked it with her grouchy pencil. They found a jawbone, a rib bone, and a bone Mr. Todd called a femur. They glued each bone onto paper and drew in all the missing bones to make a rodent skeleton that matched the one on the board. Do any rodent bones have the same names as human bones? Asked Mr. Todd. Judy raised her hand. Tibia, called out Jessica. Very good, said Mr. Todd. That's what I was going to say, said Judy. Jessica Finch was a rat fink, like stink. Huh, rhyming. Rat fink, like stink. Fink and stink rhyme. Jessica Finch was a rat stink for not raising her hand. A rodent fink. Now let's talk about your human body. Projects, said Mr. Todd. Projects will be due in 2 weeks. You can do your project on bones, muscles, joints, the brain, even toenails? Asked Bradley. As long as it teaches us something about the human body, let's start by writing down your ideas in your notebooks. I want to see brainstorming. And Judy wrote, do an operation, dress up and be Elizabeth Blackwell, the first woman doctor, tell jokes about body parts, show and tell a body part from scab collection, and listen to heartbeat with stethoscope. Judy had a storm in her brain already. Rocky wanted to do 3,000-year-old human body stuff, mummies. What are you thinking about doing? Judy asked Frank. Cloning. I'll be a fiction scientist or a science fictionist. Somebody who clones stuff, like in Jurassic Park. They used a drop of mosquito blood and made a whole dinosaur. They do it in real life, too. Start with one cell, like from your DNA, and make a whole new you. Double cool, said Judy. I'm going to write a dictionary, Jessica told Judy, with human body words like appendix and patella. That's your knee. Jessica Finch had cooties on the medulla. If she thought she could rewrite the dictionary. Judy looked back at her own paper. She chewed her eraser. She chewed her fingernail. She chewed her hair. Here I can picture Judy going, biting on her pencils. Judy had a brainwave, a real body part idea. She could call Grandma Lou and see if she had any good body parts for showing and telling. Something better than scabs. This was the brainiest of all storms. She wrote down, call Grandma Lou, so she wouldn't forget. Judy's just sharpened, grouchy pencil was still flying when Mr. Todd's said, Class, that's enough brainstorming from today. Good. My brain hurts, said Frank. I'm passing out permission slips for our field trip. Field trip? Is it to Screamin' Mimi's? Asked Judy. Please, 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 pretty please, with chocolate mud ice cream on top. Max and Kelsey's dad from class 3M works at a hospital, so we're invited to go with their class to the Walter Reed Memorial Hospital emergency room. We'll learn all about the human body and get to see people who make a difference in action. Emergency room? That was even better than Screaming Mimi's. Judy Moody dropped her mandibula and her grouchy pencil. I was there when I broke my finger, said Frank, waving his crooked pinky. Crooked pinky. They have a nurse named Ron. I went when my brother stuck a Lego up his nose, said Bradley. Can we see all the new babies? Asked Frank. They're so wrinkly. Well, I'm glad the whole class is enthusiastic, said Mr. Todd. When do we go? When? Everybody asked. Monday. 1 week from today. Dr. Noiser will give us a tour. Dr. Nosehair, said Rocky, and everybody cracked up. She, Judy Moody, and Class 3T were going to the ER for real and absolute positive. The blood and guts, real body parts emergency room. Judy reached down to pick up her grouchy pencil. The tip was broken. Mr. Todd, she asked, may I please sharpen my pencil? Remember what we said about sharpening pencils 10 times a day. But Mr. Todd, said Judy, it's an emergency. What? A pencil emergency. My pencil just broke its spinal cord, said Judy. And there's a pencil. Judy's pencil was broken. And that's all we have for Chapter 2 on Medullas and Mandibles. I will see you tomorrow with another chapter of Judy Moody, Chapter 3, MD, Mystery Detective. I can hardly wait to see what's going to happen. Have a great day.